My name is Nantchev, and this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads. Now, why are feelings so important? Well, humans, we are what in economics is called irrationally rational, as well as predictably unpredictable. We are ruled, our decision making and attitudes and our inspirations and our priorities are ruled more by feelings and emotion rather than logic and rationale. We're more like Captain Kirk rather than Spock. We are much more touchy-feely rather than technically or scientifically minded. We are very emotional creatures. Even the people who are like autistic and they're very literal in their sense, they are emotionally driven, even at a fundamental level. And that's all sorts of different Pandora's box right there. But feelings are important because that's the way the world works. The way the world works is, well, humans control it. Therefore, what controls us? Our emotions. Our not what's called the front cortex lobe, not the front section, but the further back, the further inwards we go. The reticular activating system, the other glands in there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's our reactive way, it's our reactional brain rather than our reactive brain. So we're going to just react to something spontaneously. The thinking fast bit of our brain, just like actions and responses, as opposed to our logical thinking through the front part, frontal cortex lobe, I believe it's called. That part, which is much more analytical and breaking it down. So emotions are important, but also at the same time, your emotions, when looking inwards, it's how you act, it's how you behave, it's how you think, how you feel, your attitude, your inspirations, your priorities, what you do, what you don't do. If your emotions are all over the place, then guess what? You're going to be all over the place as well. But if your emotions are centered, controlled, and tempered, then you're much more of a calm, collective person. If you allow your emotions to get the better of you, there's that old saying, the emotions get the better of me, you're doing all sorts of crazy things. And then later on you might regret it when you've got a much more logical, rational brain to think through your actions and decisions, the consequences and the scenario. People talk about also that energy, emotions are energy in motion. So, like from an esoteric kind of pseudo-scientific angle, but there's always some correlation and causation there. If you are in a happy mood, mentally and emotionally, in general, then you are going to start creating a life, an environment for yourself that reflects that. Your environment and your consequences and the things you create for yourself are a direct consequence of your mental well-being, your emotional and mental well-being. If that is in disarray, then your environment is going to be in disarray as well. And that has what's called a positive, or in this case would be a negative feedback loop, what is called algorithmic growth, which is negative compounding, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. This is why a lot of people say to change your life, you've got to change yourself. To be the difference you want to see in the world, you've got to be the difference first. It's simple cause and effect. And by the way, everything is cause and effect. I've started to realise that now. Cause and effect. I do one thing, I create a video, put it out there, done. But I'm not going to be able to create that video if I'm not in the right state of mind. I'm not going to plan to create that video if I don't have the right state of mind to think and realise that I need to do it or decide to want to do it. And thus the cause and effect. You're watching this and you're going to learn something and so on and so forth, and the ripple in the universe. But if that energy isn't there in the first place, because the idea that was in my head was not like spurred upon to be fulfilled by emotion or energy or desire, which is emotionally driven as well, then it's not going to be created. Desire. People are motivated by like two things really in life. A want, well actually there's loads of things, but a want, which is a desire, and a need, which is they have to have it to survive or to have something or to fulfill something. And the desire is often emotion. I want this, or I want that, or I want that person. Things like that. And if that's not strong enough, then they're not going to achieve it. And the other one is just, I need it, need to survive. Like I need the food, I need to cross the road, I need to get to this, need to get here, or I need to get there. So emotions, your individual feelings are incredibly important in your life. Because without them, okay, you see, the phrase "success begets success" is damn true. If you're in the wrong state of mind, the wrong attitude, then you're missing out on life. I knew someone, here's a little story for you. I knew someone who was probably in his early 30s. I met him like a handful of times, 2 or 3 times. He was in his early 30s, and someone told me that his apartment was a right shithole. Rotten pizza, dog and bacteria everywhere, and I don't know, probably no garden or messy garden, scruffy odd person, and just a general shithole. This apartment was described to me from someone else, that, you know, from a mutual friend. And I'm thinking, good Gordon Bennett, mate, you change attitude, raise your standard, your environment changes as well, your life will change as well, your attitude will change as well. And it's like some people just don't have the will or the desire or the capacity, or I don't know, open a dictionary, pick any word. They lack something to change their situation. Maybe it's not enough need or a want, but I don't know what it is. But because that was his standard, and that was where his energy was like competent, you know, where his level was happy to dwell at, his energy and his emotions happy to dwell at that level of standard of living, then he's never gonna rise from it. Whether he wants to or desires to, a different question. But your standards are determined by your emotions. Your feelings are very important in what you do and create in life. It's rather bizarre that way, but it's all down to you. And like taking personal responsibility. You know, there's a thing called root cause analysis or root cause theory, which is you look at a series of events. And you think, well, what could I have done better, or what could I have done instead, or something to have prevented this? Like if you miss a train, you know, break it all back. You know, if I had not hit a red light there, I would have got through. Or had I gone a different way instead, or had I not spent 10, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute fastening my shoelace, I might have got that red light, or I might have got that green light, which meant I would have parked 10 seconds earlier, which means I would have got to the train station perfectly on time for the train. These kind of things, and these all things are dictated by your emotions, your energy, your current level. This is why in the mornings, this is why a few years ago I realised that if you're not in the mood to do anything, then don't do it. Because if you're not in the mood, then you're not going to have the peak energy, peak efficiency to make this thing look nice. Similarly, I forgot my point now, but oh yeah, I remember now. Similarly, in the mornings of the day, I've got a lot more energy, therefore a lot more chance to do things, a lot more mentally intensive or labour-intensive tasks to tick those boxes, to get those things done and sorted out the way. And you know, I can't be able to do that if the energy, which is energy in motion, is lower, like throughout the day, like, you know, 12 hours from now, I might not be able to do it as easily. So it's about allocating it as well, and prioritising it and applying it as well. A little quote that I picked up a few years ago was, "Do the work nice or do it twice." You know, don't piss around repeating the same task, but do it nice first time, get it out there. So feelings and emotions are incredibly important. Incredibly important how we function and feel and act and behave and interact. And so the question of the day to you, is, how are you controlling your emotions? How are you controlling them? I've come to realise that I'm much more rational, analytical in what I do. So there's a concept called what is it now? It's the monkey paradox. It's to do caging the monkey brain, I believe it is, which is the one of the early stages of the brain. Like if on the lines of evolution, we started off with a reptilian brain at the very beginning, and then we had the monkey brain develop on top of it, and then we have the human brain on top of it, which is the frontal cortex. I can't remember, lobe or whatever, but we have the monkey brain, and that's like all over the place, erratic. So I've come to realise that I have that very much under control, and I'm very much calm, calculating and rational, but at the same time emotional when it needs to be in the situation and all the rest. But that's what I've come to realise. I don't know if it's practice or training or genetics or I'm not so sure what, but much more calm, relaxed, centered about these kind of things. So the question of the day to you is, how are you controlling your emotions? How are you controlling them? And remember also that this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads. How cool is that?